Hello, my name is Jim Waldman, and I am 32 years old. And I have found something that has forced me to question everything I thought I knew. Before I explain what happened, I need to tell you a little about myself. I was supposed to grow up on a farm, with woods and mountains all around me, and with a loving pair of parents. But instead, I grew up in a trailer with just my mom. My father was a stranger to me. I never had the chance to meet him, as he died just a couple of months before I was born. I was told he died in a work accident, and I didn't ask many questions, seeing that his death must have taken a huge toll on my mom. I could tell, because every night, when I was supposed to be asleep, I could hear her crying from the living room, if you could call it that. All it had was an old couch and a table, a small television, a flickering lamp. This crying was constant, from the first night I can remember until the day I moved out. I wish my father had left me something. Anything. There was no pictures of him to be found, no old belongings, nothing. I guess we didn't have the space for that. And my mother was always insisting that we move on. I remember being scared to attempt to comfort my mother because I didn't really know what I would say. But I tried my best, making countless burnt pieces of bread and half-cooked eggs for breakfast, just so she wouldn't have to. My mother did say one thing often, which stole my attention every time. Whenever she got mad about something happening with our trailer, she would always dream aloud about the farm we were supposed to live at. With that all said, I'll get to it. It all started a couple of weeks ago when I spent the morning hastily getting ready for work. On the way out to my car, I stumbled and fell, dropping my keys and coffee, while freeing my hands to save my face from the concrete. Lying there on the ground, I noticed that in my morning haze, I'd failed to notice a big leather book lying on my doorstep. Still worried about being late for work, I grabbed the book and brought it with me, naively thinking it had been misplaced on my doorstep. I spent the day at work pondering this book. Its old appearance intrigued me enough to send my neighbor a text, asking if she had been the one to order a book. And she hadn't. And especially not an old leather-wrapped one. I had a very busy day at work and didn't have the chance to fetch the book from my car and read it. But when I got home, I did. And man, I wish I hadn't. This is an excerpt from the first page. I find myself almost swimming through this green ocean, its dark branches drowning me. With every stroke, I drift closer to whatever brought me here. All I can hear is the sound of my hands pushing the brush aside and my feet stepping on sticks and moss. There is no wind, yet at times I hear a faint wailing in the skies. The farther I go, the thicker the brush, but the clearer my mind. I do not know why I am here, but I do know I have to continue, lest my existence amounts to nothing. I fear stopping only means I am stuck, as the forest seems endless in every direction. I've seen a moose, which was comforting. It meant I was not alone in this vast emptiness of trees, but the meeting was quite unusual. Usually when stumbling upon an animal, they tend to be afraid of humans, but not this one. It just stood there, observing me with almost human-like eyes, almost as if it knew I was no danger to it. And right it was. What was I supposed to do to a creature like that with no tools at my side? I believe coming here was a grave mistake. As the brush grows thicker, I find myself almost giving up, but fearing what would happen if I stopped in my tracks. I pushed on just a little bit, and now I find myself in an opening, and the visuals here make me question my sanity. I see the head of my late father on a pole with his eyes replaced with pine cones, and from his gaping mouth, his tongue stretched out, with a small plant sprouting from the tip. In sheer terror, I ran as fast as I could from that clearing, back into the woods, into the unknown. The branches struck me like whips, leaving me bruised and cut. After a great bit of running, I find myself here. Where here is, I could not tell you. But I hear it. The thing keeping my mind at bay, the wheeling. It's getting closer. Before taking this trip, I should have remembered what the moose was reminding me of. A simple rule. In the ocean, there are always bigger fish. Now, what really scares me is the last thing written on the page. John Waldman, June 23rd, 1994. I stared at that name for what felt like an eternity. My father's name. And the entry was written exactly 2 months before I was born. This journal does not end here, but I haven't found the strength to read the rest. I will drive out to my mother's place and ask about this. Until then, stay safe and stay out of the woods.